Welcome to Mainland, your local regional television station, coming to you from the Nelson and Tasman region. In this week's news roundup, median house prices still climbing, New Zealand First Leader discusses future of ferry service, new technology could mean council cuts staff, Mission Impossible style entry into mall, and royals visit the top of the south. Median house prices are still increasing in the Nelson-Tasman region and in larger centres such as Auckland and Christchurch. Figures just released by REINZ show house sales leapt nearly 20% last month compared with the previous month, and the national median price jumped to a new record. In March this year, the median price for Nelson-Tasman increased 3.3%, or around $11,000 in a year-on-year comparison. And according to REINZ, the median sales price for Nelson was $365,000, Richmond $453,000 and Motueka $374,000. New Zealand First is describing the ongoing ferry woes as a cover-up which threatens Cook Strait safety. I spoke with New Zealand First leader Winston Peters about the situation. You revealed yet another Cook Strait ferry issue this week involving the Stena Allegra. What's the new problem and what other issues have plagued this replacement vessel?
Well, first of all, it smashed into the wharf at Wellington and therefore is out of commission now. And also, this is a boat that is requiring the use of 20 times more machinery lubricant than the standard ferries that are on the line at this point in time. So one has to ask the question, why did we ever get this replacement in the first place? Because it was never, this is only the latest of problems it's having, and it looks like we're going to have to find a replacement for the replacement.
Dear, and where are things at with the Aratiri?
Well, the Aratiri is now in Singapore trying to fix up the problems arising from the extension of the Aratiri some time ago that also took place in Singapore against the advice of a lot of experts that it would not work, and they're finding new problems, this time cracks in the rudder stock.
You've suggested the Transport Minister stop Kiwi Rail running what you say is an unsafe ferry operation, and you're also calling for heads to roll and for experts to be called in to sort out the mess. Who are the experts, and won't this in itself be an expensive exercise?
Well, it won't be nearly as expensive as the lemon that they've got in the Aratiri and now the Stena Allegra, and the loss also of not just cost and time to repair those boats if they can be repaired, and that's a very moot point. The reality is that there's loss of transport as well, and delays on the Cook Strait transport system as at this point in time. So those are huge losses. Getting in somebody who knows what they're doing, it's not going to cost nearly as much as that, and we can move on and maybe do some sound things about finding replacements.
Now, you're describing it as a cover-up and that it threatens the Cook Strait, safety. Why do you call it a cover-up?
Because you recall they were running the Aratiri with just one propeller at one stage, or contemplating that. Now, frankly, that would put a lot of people in danger in one of the most difficult, tough straits of water in the whole world. That's what they were talking about doing, and these things all point to possible safety problems for the crew, because, as you recall, one of the lifeboats fell off the boat because the cable broke. These are all standard repair, maintenance operations that are not being done properly. So it's high time that Jerry Brownlee stopped talking to the PR department of Cook Strait ferries and started talking to the people down the waterfront who might know what they're talking about.
Kiwi Rail's ferry operation is said to have cost the taxpayer around $1 billion since it was bought back, and the government says it will need to keep reaching into the public purse for top-ups for the foreseeable future. Is this acceptable?
Look, first of all, Mr. Brownlee and the government is being totally disingenuous and deceitful. You recall that they flogged off New Zealand Rail, including Kiwi Rail, way back in 1993 for a bargain basement price of $328 million. And within 3 weeks of the international market finding out about this bargain basement sale, Wisconsin Central Railroad and Fay Rishwhite, the two buyers, their shares went up a massive $188 million. Now the National Party, having run it into the ground via their privatisation, and you recall their shares were above $9 after the 1993 sale, and they fell all the way to 28 cents. That's when Labor had to step in and buy it back. And now the government's trying to blame these present hopeless maintenance and business decision problems on the previous government, almost 6 years ago. Now this is just nonsense.
So is throwing money at the situation the answer, because they've poured $1 billion into recapitalisation, haven't they? Is this the answer, to throw money at it?
Well, it's not so much recapitalisation. What happened was, when the privatisation happened in 1993, they then recapitalised, bled the thing of all its value, and drove the shares into the ground. That's what the National Party allowed to happen. Now they're trying to blame that awful decision that cost us so much, as did having to buy back Air New Zealand, you recall, where the similar things happened. Now they're trying to blame that on the previous government. It just won't wash. Mr. Brown is showing his business ignorance and his ministerial irresponsibility in trying to get away with that. What he needs to do is get people into Kiwi Rail who know what they're doing, who've got the expertise, rather than keep people on board who have proved themselves incompetent.
Where are these people going to come from?
Well, they're all over the place. There are a lot of people in this country who've got far more experience than that, and they could have been hired. There are people internationally who could have been hired. But there's no excuse for trying to blame the previous government for problems that have happened on your watch, all as a consequence of decisions that the current management have been allowed to make by a minister who's in charge of transport, but seemingly doesn't want to do anything.
To what extent might this ongoing situation be damaging tourism?
There's no doubt that it'll be damaging anyone who wishes to take a vehicle or to travel by ferry across the strait, because the operation is most of the time, in terms of the regular schedule, not working.
And what about outrightly buying another seaworthy vessel instead of trying to fix what's broken? Would this be a feasible option?
It's looking to be the only feasible option, but this time get people who in the purchasing business who know what they're doing.
Any final thoughts, Winston, on this matter?
Well, this is an ongoing saga, and I think it's high time that the Prime Minister stepped in and said to the Minister, you're not doing your job properly, and nor are the people downtown. When are we going to get some action from the Prime Minister, rather than to smile and spend all his time with the royal family?
Meanwhile, the Taxpayers Union is backing Winston Peters. Executive Director Jordan Williams says taxpayers are sick of bailing out Kiwi Rail and the Inter-Islander every time one of the dud ships hits a wharf. Jordan Williams says were the Inter-Islander to be sold to an expert shipping company, the public would probably get a better service and the taxpayer wouldn't cop the bill when management screw up and buy a lemon. He says the taxpayer doesn't pay a cent when something goes wrong with Bluebridge. A new technology service delivery model could mean more staff reductions at Nelson City Council. A proposal to change how council manages information technology was presented to affected staff and PSA in early March. Chief Executive Claire Hadley says she's proposing significant change to the way councils delivers information technology, and those with information management responsibilities would be adversely affected. The result of an external review has identified areas where significant improvements could be made, and a focus on delivering better internal customer service is one outcome. Also, because technology projects have a beginning and an end, using external experts for these short but intense periods of time will be more efficient, and this work would be outsourced under the proposal. Currently, the information management team has 12 positions, and the proposal recommends disestablishing 6 positions, creating 5 positions, reconfirming 5 positions, and reassigning 1 position. Like something out of a Mission Impossible movie, burglars are understood to have broken through the roof of the Richmond Mall on Wednesday night, entering 2 shops and stealing cash. The stores they hit were Cuts at Once and the Body Shop. After stealing shop takings, it's understood they fled the building. Police are reviewing CCTV footage and were making a number of inquiries. They would be keen to hear from anyone who has information to assist with this investigation. Another positive result for the Nelson retail sector, according to the latest Paymark figures. The volume of spending was up 4.7% last month compared with March 2013. $84 million was spent in Nelson in March this year, up $4 million on the same month last year. Nelson's 2014 Heritage Week is running from the 12th to the 20th of April. This is a 9-day event with events planned daily, kicking off with a parade up Trafalgar Street on Saturday by the first responders from 11 to 1:30 p.m, finishing with a World War I in the Trenches interactive theatrical experience to give a deeper understanding of wartime realities at Founders Heritage Park on the 20th of April. Mainland's Janine Pugh spoke to Karen Stade, the president of the Nelson Historical Society, about their involvement in this year's Heritage Week.
Okay, we're down here at the Sunderland Pier on the stunning Nelson Monday morning. Karen, welcome, and why are we here?
We're here because the Nelson Historical Society is about to run a Wakefield Quay historical walk on Sunday the 13th of April as part of Heritage Week, which kicks off at the weekend. So we will have guides in costume like myself. I'm in something reminiscent of around the World War I period, but we'll have guides dressed up in Victorian costume right the way through to 1930s.
Wow.
And they'll be stationed along Wakefield Quay at points ranging from the Anchor building, which is up the far end, right down to the boathouse at this far end here in the south. And they'll be talking about people, places and events of historical interest related to Wakefield Quay. So everyone who comes along is going to find out something they didn't know.
So how many people are involved? People, places and events. It sounds like quite a lot of organisation.
We've got 6 guides, but there are other people stationed for displays and information about Historical Society and handing out maps. The walks actually start here at Sunderland Pier. And there's a team of bakers making Devonshire teas, which will be at the boathouse for sale. So we hope lots of people will come there and listen not only to the speaker, but also have a look at displays there and enjoy Devonshire tea.
And I have to say, Karen, you did it rather stunning, and you've got a gorgeous cameo. That is just absolutely stunning.
Thank you. Well, this is one of the things I thought it was fun if we all dressed up. There's something quite fun about dressing up, I think. A lot of people love it. And also it means that we stand out so that when people are coming along, they will know that we obviously have something to do with the walk. But I'm involved in the World War I centennial commemorations with the Nelson Provincial Museum. So over the last few weeks, I've been developing a couple of costumes that I can wear when I'm doing things like that. So my preferred period is not Victorian, but that sort of late Edwardian moving into the World War I period. So I've had a lot of fun making up costumes.
Sure, how exciting. Now, how did the Historical Society get involved in the Heritage Week?
Well, we have a field trip every April anyway, and I have regular meetings with Debbie Daniel-Smith, who's the Heritage Advisor at Nelson City Council. And she said it would be great if we tied in our field trip with Heritage Week this year. So we decided that was a great idea. And so in opening it up to the public, we expose the community to the Historical Society and vice versa. So it just gets more people into history, and also hopefully we'll encourage a few more members. We have a lot. We have over 350 members, but the other thing is that this year it is the inaugural Laurie Dale memorial field trip in honour of Laurie, who died in January. He organised our field trips for the last few years and was a stalwart in the society, so we thought it was a great way of honouring his memory.
Nice. That sounds like a very cool thing, very, very poignant. So can you just recap what's happening and when?
Okay, well, if people come down here around 12:30 to the Sunderland Pier, they'll have the unveiling of the Red Duster Heritage Panel in the car park just over here. That's the City Council, another City Council Heritage Panel. And then our walks will start from 1:30. So people can come along anytime from 1:30 till 4, which is when the last tour is, pick up a group and just walk their way through with a map to the different sites along Wakefield Quay.
Fantastic. Now, Karen, I'm almost a little bit embarrassed to say I don't think I've actually been on this pier before. I've probably driven past, maybe even walked past, but I don't think I've actually stood on here. Is that a bad thing?
I don't think it's a bad thing. I'm glad to get you out here. There are a lot of historic places along this quay, and it's such a short span, but it's amazing. So I'm glad that we've got you out here for this one. And of course it's got the Seafarers Memorial statue here, and so the guide that's standing on the pier on Sunday will be talking about Hawlashore Island, the Cut, a lot of the immigrant ships that came in, shipwrecks, that sort of thing. So it's quite appropriate that we do the interview here.
Fantastic. Well, it sounds like it's going to be an absolutely wonderful, it's a well-planned event, for sure. So I look forward to, I think I'll actually bring my family down here. So all the best, and thank you very much for talking with us today.
What to do about legal highs has taken the spotlight recently, with marchers calling for an outright ban the length and breadth of the country last Saturday. Mainland's Janine Pugh has been gauging public opinion on the subject, and on Wednesday had the opportunity to ask well-known media personality and councillor Matt Laurie for his opinion on the subject.
Do you have a personal opinion about legal highs?
My personal opinion is that no good can come from them. I look at them in those little packets. I just see them in the media, and I think, why would you put that in your body, to be honest? I mean, in a way I'm lucky because I seem to have a pretty good relationship with alcohol. I like beer, and I can drink beer apparently without making too much of a fool of myself. But the idea of the synthetic cannabis, honestly, it freaks me out, to be honest. It's not something I would do. It's not something, legal or illegal. It's just not something I would actually want to put in my body, and I certainly wouldn't want my friends or my family putting it in their bodies. And I think people have got to consider that just because something is legal doesn't mean it's actually good for you. I mean, cigarettes are legal. They're not good for you. Jägermeister is legal. I don't drink Jägermeister. It's just too potent. And this is the same with legal highs. People have got to engage their brains before they spend money on this stuff.
Sure. So, personal opinion, do you think they should be banned?
It's a tricky one. I think that if they're legal, then you get into some difficulties with the law as to whether or not, if you actually stop them. My personal opinion is, why do we need them? I would rather not see them in Nelson. I'd rather not see them in shops up and down the country. But I do think that is an issue that has to come from central. That's an issue that has to be addressed at central government level. Particularly when you think about how many local authorities we've got. We've got one straight over there, short drive over there, Marlborough. We've got another one just down the road in Richmond. For us to all come up with our own policies on this, to me, just seems a little bit ridiculous. This is something that needs to be, the decision needs to be made about it in Wellington.
Yeah. But the government doesn't seem to be wanting to make the decision on this. They're wanting to pass the buck to each individual councils, and there's only 5 councils out of the whole of New Zealand that have actually come up with their policies. So is it time in the government to take this back, do you think, or is it?
Yeah, I would. Do you know what I'd actually like to see? I'd actually like to see some leadership from the government on this issue. This is a national health issue, and it is an issue that should be handled by central government, not local authorities.
Janine Pugh also asked people out on the streets for their opinion on legal highs.
Okay, legal highs, what's your thoughts on this, and what do you think needs to be done?
Legal highs, I'm not keen on them. I think it's unregulated, and it needs to be really regulated if these products are going to be available. Being available just ad lib to our young people is just an invitation to trouble, I think. That's basically it.
I'm surprised that they're selling them, really.
Yeah, because they're doing a lot of damage
Yeah.
to people. Okay, question for you today. Legal highs. What do you think needs to be done about this?
Stop it. We don't want it. Let's get rid of it. Let everybody... Let's stand up against the bad things. Really, what good is there in legal highs?
Legal highs. What's your thoughts on this, and what do you think needs to happen?
Absolutely should be taken out of the market completely.
Nelson Bay's police have expressed their disappointment at the results of a drink driving operation last weekend in both Nelson City and rural roads. 16 people faced charges for driving under the influence of alcohol as a result of the operation. Tasman District Commander Superintendent Richard Chambers says a number of those people recorded breath alcohol levels more than double the legal limit. He says he's very disappointed these people chose to get behind the wheel of a car after consuming that level of alcohol. Richard Chambers says a number of those drivers were detected leaving the licensed premises, which suggested to him they have some bar managers shirking their responsibilities as well. Endangered bats hanging in trees, a walk down memory lane with the milk bottles, your own creation interacting on screen with others, illuminated sheep and the discovery of fire reenacted, Light Nelson will take over the Queen's Gardens for 3 nights in July from the 11th to the 13th, with close to 40 works from artists just selected from proposals sent in from right around New Zealand. Selection Committee Chair Joe Kinross says artists submitting projects this year had more grasp of the concept and offered a lot more audience participation, even as the works took shape. There are several themes that have emerged among this year's Light Nelson works. Kinross says the environment has come through as a theme in several ways. Light Nelson 2014 is based in the Queen's Gardens, spilling into Albion Square in the Chinese Garden, as well as involving the NMIT Arts and Media Building and campus and some other sites around the city. It's on at the same time as the Nelson Arts Expo and the Winter Music Festival, and with the 3 events being promoted together throughout New Zealand by Nelson Tasman Tourism. For more information, go to lightnelson.org.nz. And finally, some are saying they're never washing their hands again. It's understood quite a few Nelsonians took the day off work on Thursday to head over to Blenheim for a chance to see the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge and baby George. Blenheim Seymour Square was packed with cheering, smiling onlookers, some of whom were fortunate enough to shake the hand of one of the royal couple or exchange a few words with them. William and Kate laid a wreath at Blenheim's World War I Memorial Cenotaph and later paid a visit to Omaka Aviation Heritage Centre. After the break, we'll bring you the latest weather update and some events and happenings coming up from around the region.
Hi, I'm John McMillan at the Nelson Power Tool Centre. We have great prices on all the top quality brands of power tool. Tools and equipment at our showroom 146 Tahunanui Drive in Nelson. The Nelson Power Tool Centre, the specialists that stand behind and service what we sell.
Discover the Belgrove Tavern just 20 minutes south of Richmond on State Highway 6 for meals, functions, weddings, barbecues and garden bar with lots of room for kids. Come and see us.
The majority of information in our life comes to us through our vision. With only one set of eyes to last our lifetime, it's important that you look after them. For over 20 years, Carrington Eye Care has led the way in providing the Nelson Tasman region with professional eye care. Our team are committed to providing you and your family with the highest standard of eye care. As part of this commitment at Carrington Eye Care, we recommend Crizal lenses. Crizal is a revolutionary lens which repels dust and fingerprints. This means it's easier to clean and stays cleaner longer. Visit us at our Nelson, Richmond practices and ask about our Crizal satisfaction guarantee.
Why would you want to pay as much as $1,000 for a single bed mattress when you can buy a high quality locally made mattress like this for as little as $220? And a queen size mattress could cost you in excess of $3,000, but at Nelson Beds you could have a mattress like this as low as $425. So why would you go out and spend a fortune on your child's bedroom when you can come to Nelson Beds and buy a complete single mattress and base set, a 7-drawer Scotch chest, a headboard and a 3-drawer bedside cabinet for as little as $979? So call and discuss our custom manufacturing options and local after sales service at Nelson Beds, Nelson's only bedding manufacturer.
Hi, my name's Ian Mortimer. Mortimer Auto Upholstery is your one-stop shop for all your upholstery needs. We do car and boat interiors, boat canopies, ute tonneau covers, canvas and PVC fabrication. Call in and see us in Oxford Mews, 72 Oxford Street, Richmond.
Victory 60 Plus on Tuesdays at 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. at 238 Upper Vanguard Street. Join us for cards, games and a cuppa. For more information, contact Jan on 546 9057 or 027 4577 955. And Whenua Iti Outdoors will be hosting an outdoor photography weekend Friday the 9th of May at 7 p.m. until Sunday the 11th of May at 3 p.m. This is supported by TDC funding. On behalf of the team here at Mainland Television News, thanks for joining us. We'll bring you the latest news and events from around the region again tomorrow.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.
Waimea Telecommunications, specialising in free-to-air digital television, internet broadband connections, telephone and telecommunications systems. Call Julian Toon at Waimea Telecommunications on 544-4203.
FAV Mobile Solutions are the scooter, walker and wheelchair specialists for the Nelson region. Call in and see the huge range available. Take one for a free test drive and pick up your free booklet guide. They also provide a rescue service if you ever get a puncture or a flat battery. Come in and see Robin and the friendly team at FAV Mobile Solutions in the Richmond Free Car Park opposite the Old Town Hall.
Hi, Gus Bulens of Gustav's Clothing for Men on Trafalgar Street. I'd like to invite all the people of Nelson, Tasman and international and local visitors to come and check out our brand new refurbished store, which is now chock full of the latest international and New Zealand brands. From France, Lacoste; from the UK, Ben Sherman; RM Williams; from Sweden, Gant; from the US, Calvin Klein jeans; and from New Zealand, Rembrandt suits, jackets and trousers; Cutler, Berlin and snowy fine merino knitwear. So come on into Gustav's on Trafalgar Street and we'll look after you.
Oh, to be healthy.
Lifestyle, diet and exercise, complemented with quality supplements, can provide you the insurance vital for your natural health and well-being. With over 10 years professional experience making some of New Zealand's most trusted nutritional supplement brands, visit the O to Be Healthy factory outlet in Wakatu Industrial Estate. Over 200 supplements to choose from, free on-site parking, no middleman.
Oh, to be healthy. Caring for you naturally.
Hi, I'm John McMillan at the Nelson Power Tool Centre. We have great prices on all the top quality brands of power tool. Tools and equipment at our showroom, 146 Tahunanui Drive in Nelson. The Nelson Power Tool Centre, the specialists that stand behind and service what we sell.
The majority of information in our life comes to us through our vision. With only one set of eyes to last our lifetime, it's important that you look after them. For over 20 years, Carrington Eye Care has led the way in providing the Nelson Tasman region with professional eye care. Our team are committed to providing you and your family with the highest standard of eye care. As part of this commitment at Carrington Eye Care, we recommend Crizal lenses. Crizal is a revolutionary lens which repels dust and fingerprints. This means it's easier to clean and stays cleaner longer. Visit us at our Nelson, Richmond practices and ask about our Crizal satisfaction guarantee.
Well, the way Freeview is set up is that people should try and receive UHF Freeview first. Satellite should really only be a fallback option if you live in a country or out in the country, or you live in an area that's maybe shielded from the transmitter. If you go terrestrial, you've got the advantage that you get the mainland channels as well. So that's plus, there's an extra 8 channels there, plus 2 radio channels. So.
If you need help tuning into the digital TV channels, please give us a call. Nelson TV and Video Services, 41 Halifax Street, Millers Acre Car Park.